seems as though they are not running it back with Aaron Rodgers up with the Jets. Reports came out about a meeting that happened, and basically they left that meeting with the understanding they would not be running it back with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. You got any updates in that situation?
Well, listen, I think we got a situation here where you got a new general manager, a new head coach, and when new general managers and new head coaches come in, they typically like to make changes and bring in their own people. There's a reason that a team is in the market for changing its general manager and head coach. And so when that happens, they like to reset the culture and establish their own culture. So I would think that that's a part of this, that the Jets want to go in their own direction and they want to start over. There's no doubt that Aaron Rodgers still can play and still can play at a high level. But the Jets are starting to build this again from the ground up, despite the fact that they've got some good talent on their roster. And so they're not expected to bring back Aaron Rodgers at this point in time. Aaron Rodgers will go somewhere else. He may try to take Davante Adams with him wherever he's going. I would think with Aaron Rodgers not back, Davante Adams is not going to be back in New York either. So, again, you start to see those changes of the most notable changes that they'll make. But whenever there's a situation with new head coaches, new general managers, you're going to see a whole slew of changes. And they usually start with some of the most significant people. In this case, that'll be Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, who I expect not to be back both.
I assumed, okay, that's a nice piece of information. Shefty, we appreciate that. So I assumed early that if Aaron wanted to play again, it was not going to be for the New York Jets because new GM, new coach, to everything that you said. Then it felt like there was a little bit of a groundswell, I think would be a right way to describe it. Like, no, maybe Aaron will actually stick around and then they'll draft somebody, and then the Jordan Love thing where he's mentoring for a year as Aaron Glenn goes in there. And then that the news drops from Jay Glazer scoopage, hey, they talked, he's not being asked back or whatever. So we reached out to our source, says what we've been told is that Aaron's potentially out of the country, and when we come back, he's probably going to be on.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what our source says have told us. Now, I believe that is maybe for some time to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
You know? I wonder how much has been figured out from this guy's side. Because I think walking away from the game, a lot of people would assume not possible, especially with how he played at the end and how everything went down. I've come to know that anything is possible with Aaron Rodgers.
Amen.
Anything is possible with Aaron Rodgers. AJ, do you agree with that sentiment with what I just said?
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, we heard he was going into darkness, Super Bowl radio row. We had no idea what was happening.
Over that.
Didn't even know that was possible. Didn't even know that was a thing. There's a lot of things that I've just learned exist through this Aaron Rodgers relationship. It's been cool getting to understand. He is, they call it his docuseries enigma. I don't think there's ever been a better word for a human. You know, it's like he is a special football player. Special football player. I mean, it is, his accolades go crazy. Everybody that's ever played professional football loves him. Every professional athlete's like, Aaron Rodgers is a dog. Mm-hmm. Like, that is literally how they talk about him. He thinks to his own drum. He goes along to the beat of his own drum.
Oh, yeah.
Very clearly. Always has. But at the end of the day, he's like a hippie who just happens to be a genius and also a football savant. So it's like, interesting. I've seen this guy in the middle of a living room jamming out with a guitar, singing, shirtless, long hair, I just walked into a hippie convention. Then I've been at a dinner where he's explaining something that I could never understand in my life. And then he starts talking about football and he's recalling blitzes that were coming from 2006. It's like, this is a special guy. But I think he's very comfortable with who he is. He's very comfortable with where he is. So I'll be very intrigued to see what he does. I assume he's playing football.
Yes.
I assumed at the very beginning he's going to continue to play football, not for the Jets. That was without talking to him. That was just like reading the situation. I assume the same thing. Schefter, do you assume the same thing?
Yeah, listen, we'll see what he has to say when he's back on your show as a special guest and what your sources say.
That's a tease.
But
that's a good tease.
Say that, to me, my guess would be that he winds up playing. He's going to want to continue playing. I would guess he'll want to do it at a place that wants him. Here's a guy that I think he's made more money than any NFL player in history right now. And so that gives him the ability to sit back and be selective about what he does and doesn't want to do. If there's a situation that he's not particularly enthralled with, he doesn't have to do it. But on the surface today, my guess would be he does want to play. He can help a team
How many spots, Shefty? How many spots do you think would want Aaron Rodgers' service?
Well,
yeah,
look,
give us a little leverage here. So whenever we talk to Aaron, we could be like, hey, bud, Schefter's telling us there's 2-3 spots.
Think of one.
There's something to think about. No,
well, it's a fluid moving thing, right? You just don't know. There are 7 guys. Is Minnesota going to lose Sam Darnold? They're going to bring him back. Is Sam Darnold going to go somewhere else?
Wow. Yeah, the Brett Favre prophecy.
Yeah, can't do that.
With J.J. McCarthy?
I think
there's another.
Oh, my God.
There's another new owner who probably is a big fan of Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady in Vegas.
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
I think the Raiders are going to make a play for Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's a candidate to be the Raiders quarterback. We'll see whether Minnesota lets him go or not, but let's see if that works out with Sam Darnold winding up in Vegas. And so if he goes there, then the Vikings have to bring in another quarterback. JJ obviously is going to be there. JJ is coming along. And I think that was part of the reason they brought in Daniel Jones, because they were kind of getting him up to speed in their system, their organization, in the event that they do lose.
And Devontae Adams going out there, Justin Jefferson.
He would never.
Devontae Adams, Addison,
Hawkinson,
TJ Hawkinson, Cook in the back, Kevin O'Connell calling plays.
Aaron Jones still there, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a 1 year.
He signed a 1 year deal?
But Aaron Jones and Aaron
what?
Rodgers
Yeah,
best
guess what they can dangle it, Yeah.
I didn't even think about Minnesota. Holy shit. Okay, so he's coming back and playing football, and he's going to Minnesota. That's what I'm going to believe until we hear different.
championship, right?
Yeah, time is a flat circle.
Could you fathom if he was to do? Anyways.